Yeah, we're starting here. Okay, we're here with Gilgamesh, Weapon Collector, 6 mana 3/3. It is Godo, if you're familiar with Godo, a really old card at this point. It's a human barbarian. When it enters, you search your library for an equipment, put it in play. And when it swings for the first time, you untap this and all samurai you control, and there's another combat phase. So, yeah. You can copy Godo with Helm of the Host. This is a very... I mean, this card is the reason anyone would ever think to play Godo, in my opinion. There's a ton of equipments that are played. I was looking at EDH rec lists, which, again, it's a multiplayer format, it's different. But, you know, just get a general idea. There's 6% of people that just don't have this in their Godo deck. I don't know if it's because they don't have the money for one, forgot about it, or just out of spite refuse to play this in their Godo list, but it's kind of the only reason I think Godo is remotely viable. Especially in ever-increasing power levels as Magic the Gathering has gone on. Godo is not too welcoming to the things it's expected to play against. This is extremely vulnerable. However, it could be resilient if you have enough mana to do it 3 times and your opponent just can't continuously kill it. So maybe it's possible. A ton of mana, a ton of treasures, mana rocks. Ujin actually seems interesting here. At the very worst, it's like an uncounterable Vindicate on maybe something you really want to answer, and that's alright, even though, it dies on a counterspell, but I don't know. I like it. If you get to its ultimate, it's nice. Caldera Breaker is interesting as well. It can get exiled and stuff, but who knows? Maybe you don't need more mountains, and then you're not sad that they're all gone. But if it dies and you get a bunch of mountains, then boom. Same with Brass's Bounty. You play this, and then next turn you most assuredly are ready to do the thing. A ton of sweepers, a ton of burn spells, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I suspect this to die a lot. It is quite vulnerable. You could play more equipment like Mithril Plate. We were thinking about that one earlier. Could just put that on here. But then if you get Mithril Plate and this is indestructible, and then your opponent cannot kill it, then you actually can't get Helm of the Host out of your deck because it's sitting in play and it can't die. So it's not really great to get as your first equipment. You really want to get this as your first one. And yeah, you can then equip this and swing, right? Which you want to do. But now you have to, swing to get a trigger for Mithril Plate. But your opponent just doesn't let you go to combat. I don't know. I don't think other equipment are worth thinking about when you're all in on Helm of the Host, but we'll see. Of course. Why wouldn't we have an exile chat? You let me know. Why wouldn't the Rocco opponent have an exile? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They just have Lightning Bolt. Of course they do. Did we still get there? Oh, silly me. No, of course not. Actually, no. None of that matters if they don't have Mox Amber. You need Mox Amber, otherwise this actually doesn't matter in turn 2. Okay. Chrome Mox all the same. Okay, chat. I mean, I'm playing against the people that say this is busted when you have the perfect thing every game. I don't know what to tell you. Yep. Yeah, this is great on turn 3 when you always have it. Come on, bro. Come on. Oh my goodness. What do you want from me? How do you do it? Someone tell me. How is it done? Let me know. You've got to be kidding me, bro. Oh my goodness. I had to think about treasure strike it rich for a while there. Oh, figured it out. What the heck? Actually, they did that pretty quickly. Alright, so if they do cast Mana Drain, I suppose, in all honesty, I wouldn't be too surprised. Can try to play around it. I would imagine they get Mana Drain because it's a I win the game card. Okay, well, they didn't cast it, so you cast it here? Do you even care about this? I probably wouldn't. No, alright. So I feel like they still got Mana Drain, they just didn't cast it. Gambling from Mox? Maybe at this point it doesn't matter, they already have a treasure. I don't think it matters anymore. It could have no, they didn't gamble for a land. Yeah, it wasn't Mox. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, we need 11. I don't know why I'm even counting right now. Let's play you. You. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically 10, 11? I don't know why we want Swiftfoot boots. Chat, why are we hung up on haste? Why are we so hung up on haste? What's going on here? I don't understand. Alright, well, it isn't Mana Drain. I'm in absolutely no position to play around anything, so I did not do that. And I'm not gonna spin the Celestials. Just gonna let it sit. Alright, I have all the mana I need. Opponent just full stop didn't do anything. That's curious. Let's cast Koth. Ooh, Koth is a good bait. Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. They countered it with a weird counter spell that they did not have earlier. Did not have that card before. We're almost to the point where we can do it like twice in the same turn because of that offer you can't refuse. Can we find... No. Not currently. Alright, they drew the mountain for the turn, so the hand is not new. They did not play this last turn, and it was in their hand. So, most assuredly leaving up a wall of counterspells. And let us... I think at this point we can get rid of this. I don't need all that now. It also helps me against River's Rebuke. Same with this thing. I can probably lead with this, actually. Galvanic Blast is interesting. Okay. I don't know if I'm winning a draw-go game. Alright, they drew another land for the turn. They did not get a Steam Vents. Okay. They're definitely doing math here and decided it was not worth going for whatever it was here. Okay, not what I wanted. Blood Moon does literally nothing. Do I have ways to get rid of this? Out of hand? I guess I do, but maybe... I don't know. It stops the village. That doesn't do anything. This just shaves them down a blue source. And maybe they don't have many more blue sources or something? I don't know. Looting it away with Blood Moon was probably better. I mean, Celestius. Okay, well, that's more mana. Can't recast that. This is where we would want Eldrazi. We could probably think about running Eldrazi, so when you get in games like this, I have something to do. But the problem is I have to get to this point still. That hasn't just happened because I want it to, but... it's not likely for me to die here, so it's interesting. I'm going to sorcery speed my... Well, if it let... Oh, I missed my opportunity. It's not too big of a deal, but I would have liked to have done this main phase. Not really a big deal, though. I'm sure there's a card we could replace for Untimely, but I don't think it's really solving the issue. I mean, opponent, you can't... This much thinking, there's no way you're tapping out. That doesn't track. Okay, that's not what we wanted. Can I... Yeah, I can. Oh, I might have missed tapping the stockpile for a turn there. Okay, game. Alright, so I can recover from the first counter spell. And hopefully it forces the use of treasure tokens, which would be ideal. So I want to see them use treasure. If it's a 1 minute, if it's like wash away, then this is like absolutely atrocious. Okay, it's mana drain. So they probably did gamble for mana drain a long time ago, and we're just seeing it now. That would make sense. But I mean, what do you want me to do about it? No way you also have River's Rebuke? Okay. Grape Shot? What? Didn't that just kill me if they cast it? Watch them cast Teamer Battle Rage or something. That'd be funny. Okay. Well, they did all that stuff. I have to decline. I drew the Helm of the Host! No way. Does that ruin it? Are you serious? Wait, hold on, wait. Does that ruin it? Five, 6, 7. Okay. If that ruined it for me, I would have probably just stopped streaming. I would have just stopped streaming. Man, imagine I had this hand last game, and it could have killed birds. Could you imagine? Galvanic Blast has not really... 4 or 2. It's whatever. Opponent, you're a green deck. Where are the mana dorks? Come on. I have all the answers for them. What are you doing? Get out of here. I'm killing your mana, one way or another. You can't stop me. Blast Zone? That's peculiar. If one or more counters are put on a creature, put twice that many. Alright. Am I in a position to care about that? No, not really. I don't believe I've ever seen this played. It's usually the hardened scales or the other hardened scales, the new one. The alchemy weird one. Alright, they have a mana dork in the form of this thing. Put 2 counters. So I basically have to kill this. 1, 2, 3, yes, so no. Godo this turn. How likely are we to see another turn? They did not play a land? They did not play a land. Okay. I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna kill that. We do have Metalcraft, so I think waiting a turn is fine. They drew a land for the turn. Mill 3 and make a 1/1. There's nothing that cares about this 1/1. Alright, let's kill that. Create counters. This doesn't fundamentally do anything, correct? Correct. Yep. We're just gonna do a 2-turn cycle here. There's a chance they don't care about my 3/3. I mean, that's possible. Not super likely if they had, you know, if they could have to say about it. They drew another land for the turn. So, no Archdruid's Charm, please. Okay, does that... What does that do? Okay, that does not work. So we might have it. Protection from blue. Most notably not red. I think we got it. No. The answer they came with is not, it doesn't cut the cake. It's not an answer that works. Yeah, so it actually worked out to do it in the way we did it. We should get there, yeah. Just keep doing it. If they had protection from red, this would not work. Nice. Yep, infinite 3/3s. It gets around any amount of toughness as long as it's not indestructible. And, boop, boop, boop. Cool. Pona, we blitzing for the Llanowar Elves? What's going on? What's going on over there? What are you doing over there? Pona, your name was no response. You weren't supposed to respond to saying hello. Oh, it actually is no mana rod. Alright. They did go to 6. Yarok going to 6 is weird. Honestly, any green strategy having to mulligan is peculiar. Okay, so human kill the mana. That's the name of Timeless Brawl. Aether Channeler? Oh, please bounce the Ornithopter. Oh, right, you can bounce those. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Never mind, chat. Alright, so we can Volcanic Spite. We can shove aside. Yeah, we're gonna shove aside here. Because I have something else I can do. This actually reset the loyalty of my Chandra. I don't know if this made sense. He just gave me more loyalty. I mean, it was out of play, but it was kind of the only thing I was going to do anyways. I didn't have anything else to do. Okay, so we can cast... Nah, I don't want to do that. Let's start here. Do I cast Godo? I could... It doesn't matter if it dies, right? It kind of does, though. We can probably afford to just cast Hedron Archive. Gamble for a 50-50, but I don't even know what the other card would be. We can probably hold on to Gamble for now. Although, Gamble 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can wait. My opponent didn't do anything, so... Oh, it's that card. Sure. Alright, another thing that bounces Chandra in a way that I can't say I'm terribly concerned about I could just shuffle away Chandra. Maybe we're just beyond it. Can I even... Yeah, I can recast it. That is on the table. Let's just get rid of Gamble. It's likely to mess us up anyways. Buried treasure, it can do better. Okay, so if I play this, I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... Oh! 7, 8... I win. Cool. Come to find out, all we had to do was not play against Vivi for 6 years. Who knows? Maybe I can misclick. This actually kills pretty quickly because once they don't block anymore, I keep them and then I just make more and more and more and more. Cool. Oh, it's Vivi again. Alright, well we had our fun. Back to this, I guess. It's another hand that doesn't do really anything until maybe it's too late, but I do like these cards, so... I mean, why not keep this? Could have led with colorless card, I guess. That is a gamble. Alright, meta drain number 6. 7? Who knows? Oh, they lost Tail's End. I highly doubt they gambled for that, though. Not gonna cast Thought Knot Seer. I could, but I'm not going to. I could also cast the second side of Strike It Rich. No, that doesn't seem right. I mean, it's gotta be mana drain, right? It has to be, but I mean, what am I gonna do? Just sit here and stare at him? I can't do that. Okay, they have Slip Out, Curiosity, Wash Away. I could take the counter spell and lose to the One Ring. Nothing feels great. I'll take the counter spell. I feel like that's probably the most productive I can be. But the One Ring is a problem, for sure. There's currently no answer in hand to me just windmill slamming Godo. So, I guess I'm just gonna windmill slam Godo. And pass. Alright, you need a specific thing. They read Helm of the Host. Maybe they're not aware of what I can do. Looks like maybe they're not aware of what I can do. Chat, did we do it? Oh, did we do it? No, they can slip out the back my own commander. But that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, just make them do that. Yeah, that's totally fine. They have to do that, right? So. And pass. swing. Alright. There is nothing else to do. Pass. This is phased out until my turn, so they have to have interaction on my my turn. Okay. We win. We did it. Chat, we did it. Alright, opponent's in the denial phase. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and not swing with those. Get schmeeded. Yep, took the wash away with Thought Not Seer, and they had nothing else. That's just straight up Sulkanar. I have never played against Sulkanar in my life. A bit intimidating. Could be a complete nightmare as well. I mean, it's just Grixis stuff, so... That's not Mana Drain. Chat, it's not Mana Drain. I'm gonna Thought Not Seer. It's Dumpster Tier? Is it really? Should probably take the Fable, because my opponent's hand has, like, not really much going on. Could have taken the Phyrexian Arena as well. Kind of okay with them playing that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with them playing that. So, let's play you, play you, play you. Blitz is actually at 0 still, kind of tragic. Is this Dumpster Tier? I mean, it's just playing the best Grixis cards. Like, do you really need... People already play, like, 7-mana Nicol Bolas. In a lot of games it doesn't matter, so I don't know if I care. Like, I feel like this is fine as a commander. So, we don't know of a counterspell, and we're not blown out if they have a counterspell, so I'm going to cast this. I think I'm also going to cast my commander. They could have a removal spell, and I would wish I had plus this. Yeah, there's no incentive to do this post-combat. Let's just do it now. I will say not a single opponent has killed my Helm of the Host. I did give them the option to, though. But I couldn't do anything about it anyways, Prismari command. So nothing I can do about that. I don't know, we're trying to get a tempo thing going here. I would imagine you play this just to have a terrible matchup. Like, matchups. Because you're just playing, you know, Nicol Bolas. Although I will say this is weird. File is strange. Alright, so they do correctly identify what Helm of the Host is capable of. Phyrexian Arena is a damage thing that's happening, though. I don't know how much life gain there is. Arena could kill them. This is the first opponent that's blown up the Helm of the Host. Wow, they went straight into it. Look at that. Okay, I don't know what that's about. So let's do 1, 2. It's not enough. So... Galvanic Blast. Again, not enough. I think I have to double target that. So 4... Yeah, we have to double target that. Which is sad, but... Galvanic Blast actually has a really solid chance of killing my opponent here. which is why I cast it. Which I did not cast it, I mean. I did play my only third artifact, though. This might have been incorrect. Oh. Okay. They drew another land. Oh, the Phyrexian Arena, of course, they're going to hit lands, but... So, I did remove my artifact. Well, they could have killed it, actually. Oh, no, they gave me an artifact! They gave me an artifact. Alright. So we got there. Look at that. Look at that, chat. Who needs Godo? I actually just full stop dealt 25 damage. Just sent it. Ooh, Chromok's not looking too exciting right here. What the heck is this? Whenever land you control enters, put a counter on this creature. What? Okay. Well, as much as I like losing, let's not lose, shall we? Well, you need a fight effect, and you need it right now. Oh, chat, they didn't have it. We win. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. I think the latter half, we had made arguably some pretty substantial changes since we started, and I think it did get better. Like, Defense Grid was a good idea, and some of these cards really mattered. I don't think those cards, while they do push you in the right direction for this combo, are good enough to let you play it. But this is an interesting deck, right? It's not possible to expect this to win most games, right? And that's okay. That's fine. I think it's pretty obvious going in that this isn't going to play against most things too well. This card is really, it's from an old set. It was Kamigawa. It's an old card. It's a 3/3. There's infinite answers to 3 toughness creatures, like just outside of creatures in general. There's infinite answers to creatures, but even more so from 6 mana 3/3s that essentially do nothing when they get played. Mithril Plate equipping itself onto this, if I did that every single game or something and didn't go for Helm of the Host, doesn't really change anything. Having an indestructible 3/3 doesn't push you past the finish line against basically any strategy. So if you think you have to get that first, it just doesn't do anything, right? Mithril Plate doesn't really do anything. Don't I wouldn't advise that. So, other than Mithril Plate, it did pit us against Vivi more than I thought was even humanly possible. I think it was almost every other game I played today was against Vivi. I'd say about 45% of the games I played were against Vivi. And I don't think Vivi is particularly intimidating, right? It's like a slow blue-red control thing that has like a ever-increasing, kind of like Niv Mizzet, right? Niv Mizzet. Ever-increasing threat in the command zone or whatever. But this deck specifically doesn't come prepared to deal with Vivi, right? You can play all the lightning bolts in the world. Not the best, really, at dealing with what Vivi's bringing to the table. Mono Red's just in general not dealing with it too well. Even if you do kill Vivi, they can just spam counter spells. So we did get... I don't know how unlucky that is. I don't know. I mean, if they just think you should play against Vivis and Tamios all day, then this goes from bad to, like, completely unplayable. But when I was not playing against Vivi and Mana Drain decks all day, it was fine, right? It was about where I thought it would be, barring a wall of counter spells. This is kind of just okay. I wouldn't say it's this thing your opponent is scared of if they're prepared for it, and it's pretty easy to be prepared for it. So you can catch people off guard. If people don't know what you're doing, you play Godo and you get Helm and they're like, what does that do? I don't get it. And then you put it here and you start swinging with a 3-3. They're like, what's the point of all this? And they keep blocking the 3-3 until they realize they don't have infinite toughness. And eventually I will do enough damage to kill them. So that is possible. There are cases where you can put yourself in this infinite loop where you're swinging with a 3-3 into Ulamog, and your opponent keeps blocking it, and you can't win, but there's no reason for you to stop doing it until the game force draws you, and you force a draw. It either forces a draw, or it causes the rope. You start to rope out because you're not making a new game action, and the game's like, oh, you're doing the same thing over and over. We're going to just force the rope on you. One of the two things happens. We didn't see it today, but honestly, if your opponent has Ulamog, they probably just exiled Gilgamesh or your lands, and you didn't get to do this anyways. An interesting card that did sort of help sometimes. I wouldn't say a lot, but this is super helpful. It didn't start in the deck. This just lets you get Gilgamesh in play, and then you just go, right? You just put this in play, you level it up, and then you cast Godo at 6, and then you don't need 11 mana, quote-unquote, to do everything in the same turn cycle, which is what you really would like to do, but I would say it's not realistic. So a lot of the games, just casting this at 6 mana and then moving the equipment onto it the next turn was a better idea, especially against decks like Mono Green, where they're probably not going to kill Godo, barring Archdruid's Charm or something. Like Tifa probably isn't going to kill this super consistently. And then you just do it the next turn, just put the equipment over. So Mirror Shield, that's the same exact thing as Mithril Plate. It's the same thing. It's actually worse than Mithril Plate, because Mithril Plate, when it enters with this, you get to equip immediately. You don't have to spend 2 mana on Mirror Shield. Someone in chat just asked for Mirror Shield. Yeah, it's the same issue. I don't know. I feel like I've said it a few times over the stream today. If you get Mithril Plate, you did not get Helm of the Host. So you have a 3/3 indestructible, and if this sits here, or let's say it's hexproof. You have a 3/5 hexproof creature. Your opponent can now not kill Gilgamesh for you, and now you have no access to Helm of the Host because this has hexproof, and your opponent cannot kill it, right? So it doesn't. It's the same. It's the same issue. The boots, Swiftfoot boots. It's the same thing. You put Swiftfoot boots here, your opponent doesn't kill it anymore because they can't, because it has hexproof, and you want it to die. You could block with it so it dies, but then why did you ever get the boots? you just blocked with the thing you put the boots on. It doesn't make any sense. So giving this hexproof doesn't make any sense. Initially, I had Arena of Glory in here thinking I needed to give this haste for the combo, because personally I've never actually seen the combo. Every time someone's put Helm of the Host on Godo, whether it's on paper or I've watched it on YouTube or whatever, Cockatrice or Magic Online playing Commander, every time someone put equipment on Godo, everyone concedes because no one has an answer to it. So I've actually never seen Godo do the thing, like, visually. So I thought Godo needed to have the ability to swing itself. It doesn't. Just the token is the thing that's swinging. I did not know that, so... And it would make sense, too. I never really pieced that together in my head. The first game we played, the very first game we played, I thought we needed to give Godo haste, and we didn't. It was against Ujin, so I had it. I just didn't know I had it, so I just passed the turn and lost. I wasn't aware. So yeah, you don't... Godo doesn't need haste. Just for the Swiftfoot Boots haste argument in Arena of Glory, it doesn't actually matter. The sweepers ended up coming out, or a vast majority of them. I think I kept some... Well, at least I kept Storm's Wrath. But yeah, the board wipes, like the 3-mana deal 3s, the 5-mana deal 5s. There are a boatload of decks that... I mean, I think I repeat myself on this point as well, and it's happening more and more. There's more and more decks that care less and less about you sweeping the board, right? This is teetering. This format teeters on the edge of Legacy and Timeless, where you're not playing 12 creatures. You're playing like 3 or 4 extremely powerful ones. And yeah, you can kill them with a sweeper, but it's easier and easier and easier to just rebuild after a sweeper. Like, you don't just win the game with a board wipe like you might have used to done in the past, right? There are still strategies that do lose to a sweeper, but there's less and less, and those strategies are more and more resilient to them anyways. Spot removal for mana dorks and other creatures, even the go wide strategies, in my opinion, is way more efficient and useful, so I would go that route. Birds of Paradise is just more threatening than, like, your opponent having 3 3/3s or 4 4/4s or something. Like, Birds of Paradise is the reason they got to that point anyways, or something even stronger than 3 3/3s on turn 3 or whatever. So dealing with those things to me is just way more effective. Ragavan was just in here because I needed to play basically the best of the best to have a chance, and we did actually have, I think, 1 or 2. It might have... No, I think it was just 1. I think there was only a single game where I actually got Ragavan to hit my opponent, and I don't know if I won that game. I can't remember. I don't know. I had one game where it was in play and it did something, and I don't know if I won it. But that's, you know, that's just the nature of this card, right? It is not Birds of Paradise anymore. It was probably when it first came out, not anymore. In the command zone, it's probably egregious. Like, that's probably why it's in Tier 1. I can see this being egregious, but even still, I think the Tier 1, like, Hell Q enjoyers probably are always excited to see Ragavan, because it's not as scary as it used to be. There's just so much resilience, especially if you're playing the best of the best. Then you're like, oh, you know, have your Ragavan. I'm playing Scythus, I don't care. But anyways, Mox Amber, quote-unquote, could shave down a turn you go for it in the all-at-once window with 11 mana. Like, oh, I have 10 lands in play, and play Mox Amber for the 11th mana source, and that mana only matters the turn you go for it, but we don't have another way to tap it. Realistically, I mean, we have Chandra Koth. Ragavan's not, I'd say, realistic. So, I don't really like Mox Amber. Chromox was nice, though. Brass's Bounty was actually really nice for going in on the same turn. Like, this was huge. I'm a big fan of this. I only got to put this into play once. In that game I did do it, my opponent exiled it. They didn't destroy it. They had the perfect answer for this. It was like their last card. And then I think the next turn they top-decked a destroy spell for this. And then I lost. I think that's what happened that game. So, like, okay, I guess. But most people aren't really gonna exile more than they're going to destroy, right? Most of the exile is in white. basically all of it. Bounce spells are a thing, but they're not super, super common, right? The Cyclonic Rift, there's some bounce spells. We played against a Yorok player who had a bunch of bounce spells, but yeah, I think this is still worth it. I think this is more than worth it. This card is very scary, super scary. Like, your opponent really, really does not want it to die, and there's a pretty good chance you're going to find a window to let it die in combat. And if not, you could just stare at your opponent with it, and it's just ways to get this to work, right? So I like it. Fire Crystal, it's just a mana rock. I can't say that the activation on this was ever relevant, but I do like it. This has a chance of doing random things. I did like that. I'm a fan of mono red decks that play like a bunch of mana rocks. I think this is just satisfying, like big red decks, quote unquote. But this wasn't really that big, right? There's a lot of 4s, which in today's timeless Brawl meta, a lot of 4s in your deck is essentially a big red deck. But the Ujin and Ulamog and other stuff I had in and out of here, we just never came up. I have all this mana, but Ujin just never really felt like it was gonna be useful in any game I was playing. So, same with Ujin, just casting it never felt like it was gonna turn the tides of the issue, right? Like, oh, I have this thing I'm ramping into, but I can't get to it by the time it interacts meaningfully. So, you played on turn 7, turn 6, maybe, Ujin. By that time, if that's really the biggest thing you've done to impact your opponent, it's pretty easy to beat that, right? And all the stuff you did up to that point, if you weren't interacting with your opponent too well, was kind of not great. A lot of combo decks have resilience, right? So, I mean, thus, a lot of combo decks are blue or black, right? Mono red combo is leaves a lot to be desired. That's why you see stuff like Urabrask and Burgi get upfront immediate value, because if they don't do that, you're not casting it probably, and you're just trying to find a window to cast it, where Gilgamesh or Godo doesn't really get away with doing that. So it's definitely the worst of the mono red combo bunch. But it does play a unique deck, I guess. To some degree. To some degree it does. If you want to play this, I wouldn't recommend Helm of the Host combo. I would you would probably still put this in your deck, but probably play more equipment and more creatures to just equip them onto. I don't really think that is very good at all. Like, that as a Godo strategy to me is just worse than this, but maybe it isn't. Okay, maybe it just can't be worse, right? It's hard to say if this is like the slowest, most telegraphed thing you could do in probably the weakest color to do it in. All right, green would love this. Blue would blue probably wouldn't find this too exciting, but blue has like completely backbreaking cards as like mana drain, bounce spells, counter spells, mass bounce spells, yeah, or Frogifies. Okay, yeah, blue probably is, yeah, okay, never mind. Black, I don't know if it's better if it was white. If this was mono white and did the same exact thing, it would probably still be better. You have more efficient sweepers, more efficient removal, mana tithe, reprieve, protection spells even, actually. You could go in that direction. Yeah, okay. I think red is probably the worst color to have this specific combo. In that, I mean the most telegraphed combo possible out of a 6-mana 3/3. But yeah, it's not... I think we got completely pummeled by... Was it Thrun? Someone had like a 5-mana 5/5 in their command zone, and we... In mono green, they're just faster than what we're doing, and they just play it, and then it can beat you to death before you get to do your thing. So, Yeah, I don't know. Going back to playing a deck with more equipment and creatures, I don't know if that would actually be better. I thought it would at first and a second there, and now I'm thinking about it. I don't think that shores up any issues we had. If I had 55 creatures and 55 equipment, and they were all just in play and I'm moving equipment around, and I don't see that as better than this, but it can't be worse because this is so rough. This is really rough. Yeah, this is rough. If you want to play this kind of thing, I would recommend not doing that. So, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.